What's up guys, Woody here back with another Gwent video, and this time we're kind of based again at kind of beginners or newcomers to the game. I mean, maybe you played the game for a long time and this video might help you, I hope it does. But today we're looking at current, my personal 5 best neutral cards. So 5 cards from the neutral faction, as in they're not tied to a faction, they can be played in any faction. 5 cards that I think aren't auto-include in any deck. There are definitely a couple in there that I would say are close to auto-include, but some that you can get real good value off them most of the time. You could even potentially build decks around one of them, maybe 2 of them, but you're definitely going to be building deck. If you want to build a deck, you could do around one of them and get some pretty serious value. So yeah, like I said, these videos are mostly aimed towards new players who come to the game. And Gwent's got an ever-growing library. I mean, it's still a relatively new TCG in terms of, you think about Homecoming 1.0, Gwent is only 6-7 months old, so it's still pretty new, but the library's growing fast. They've teased the next expansion. We know nothing about it, but more cards are coming. So this video is very much based on people who maybe played the game for a couple of weeks, couple of months, still getting their head around the game, still looking for cards to craft, and these are my personal tips. So please feel free to jump into comments down below and be like, what the hell? No, I completely disagree that is a recommended neutral card. I'm not going to get offended, guys. I like it when we talk Gwent, whether it is you agree with me, you disagree with me, you criticise, whatever. Hope you just like the content. But anyway, enough of going on now. Let's jump into my 5 recommended cards for neutral cards. So the first one we're going to go to is Okvist. So if you don't know about Okvist, you should do by now. Okvist was came out, well, it was this iteration of the card has been in Gwent since Homecoming. It was there on day 1 of 1.0. So order obviously means you have to wait 1 turn to play it. You damage all enemy units by 1. This card is a finisher. You don't play this turn 2, turn 3 in a round. You're getting maximum free value off it. Well, 8 value including its body level. If you play this at the end, you're normally getting minimum of an additional 7 value. Yeah, there's times when I play bloody no unit decks. We're not going to get into that, but there are times I play no unit decks, or I'll play very few amount of units. But most of the time, people are going to be ramping power on their side, and you're going to get at least get back your 10 value for Okvist. I mean, this card can combo with lots of other cards. Hubert from Northern Realms, if you really want to throw him out, which buffs himself by all damage caused to enemies this turn. But overall, Okvist is just a solid finisher. It's as simple as that. You play him, he damages everything, or everything on their sides, and then you play your card on top. So if he goes out when they've got 8 cards on their side, you're getting 8 damage or to them. Then you're playing, say, a card for, even if it's a 6-point card, as in it gives you 4 value and you do 2 damage or something like that. That 1 turn, you're getting 14 value. Like, it's pretty big. That's pretty big. I wouldn't say this is a card is the finisher. You wouldn't build a deck just to have him in there. But he's definitely in a lot of my decks. A lot of my decks run Okvist just because I know I'm 90% of the time going to get value off him. Yeah. Next up, we're going to go into my next card, which requires a little bit of setup. And that is Gregory Gorgon. So this card came with Crimson Curse update. Now, if you don't know what this done, it did get a slight nerf recently. So you deploy on the melee row, and he damages an enemy unit by 1. Doesn't sound great so far. Death blow, meaning if that 1 damage kills the enemy, then you boost self by 5 and gain a shield. It's worth pointing out, in case you didn't know, shields don't protect against destroy. So if they're running Geralt and they play a card that just destroys an enemy over 8 power, shield doesn't protect it. Shield only protects against damage, not against destroy. So always keep that in mind. But yeah, so overall, basically, this card is coming out for, it's a 9 for 9. As simple as that. You're getting the 5 buff. He costs 9 provisions. Why do I think this card is so good? It's a pretty big point play at the end. You're swinging for 10 at the end. The 1 cost damage isn't that hard to set up for. It's not one I'd run in every deck. I've seen it run in a few Effany decks, which makes sense because obviously with Effany's ability, you can set up for it. I've seen him run mostly, to be honest, in Nilfgaard decks. And there's lots of setups you can have with Nilfgaard. You can run Slave Drivers with a lock deck to kind of get out the damage you need. This card is probably, sorry, the bottom 5, like the lowest 5 recommendation on this list I'm giving you now, but I still think it's a good card. People, it used to buff self by 6, and people used to be like, no, sorry, it used to cost 8 and buff by 5, but people, it got slightly nerfed. People will be like, this card's not great. Honestly, this card's won me games. This card has won me games. It's been a tight match. Coming out for 10 at the end is pretty huge, and it does have a shield. So if they don't have a destroy target on there, if you're playing against monsters and they've already used a Geralt, or they don't have destroy in their hand, they're going to want to get rid of it normally for dominance, you're going to force them. You play this round 1 against monsters, and they want dominance to get their riders out. Then they're going to either be forced to play some consume cards, or they're going to be forced to damage this if they don't have destroy in hand. It's a pretty solid card. Yeah, he's probably in 40% of my decks, if I'm being honest. Let's go to our next card. This card is another OG Homecoming card, and I honestly think I think he's used to be stupid good. He used to cost 8 provisions, and you'd pretty much always get a minimum 6 value of him. Gimpy's still a great card, although 80% of the time you're getting, I'll probably say 56% of the time you're getting your 6 value off him. So you might go, oh well, 9 for 6 isn't great. No, that isn't great. But what you need to think about with Gimpy is it's the potential to get better value. You're always guaranteed to get your 6 value off him. There's no doubt about it. He does 3 damage. That's it. So you're going to do 3 damage no matter what. You're going to get your 6-point play. You're going to get your 6 value off him guaranteed. Most of the time, you're going to get your 9-point value. They're going to have 2 matching units down, especially playing someone like Nilfgaard. He's going to come out and you're going to get stupid good value off him. Sorry, 9 value off him. Other times, there's like a 10-15% of the time, you're going to get stupid good value off this guy. I played a game earlier today where I was playing Nilfgaard and they played the Darlene Soldiers. I think that's what they're called now. Or what they're called. The ones that play a free cost and it spawns another free cost. And then they played Vereem, I think the name is, where he duplicates or repeats the deployability of Bronze Soldiers. They had 6 of these Darlene Soldiers out. I knew exactly what was coming. They were going to play, I can't remember his name now, the one that boosts all the same units, all the same soldiers by 2. Replay it with Amir. They've got a huge play there. We're talking like they've got 24-point play, including card power, 29-point play on 1 turn. I just dropped Gimpy and cleared all of the Darlene Soldiers. They lost so much value. Yes, that is very situational. I completely appreciate that. But I include them in so many of my decks because if I just get the free value for removal on an engine of some kind, I'm fine. Like Henselt, he comes out great because the crossbow guys, my mind's crazy today, sorry guys. The crossbow guys that he drops and he plays another one. Yeah, one comes out normally for 7 because he uses Henselt abilities on him. He plays mages, he's always going to put 2 down mages down round 1. You're getting your 9 value off them. You're setting up, if you're running Gregory Gorgon, then you're setting up because they go down to 1 cost and you can ping him. And I just think Gimpy is not the best card on this list. We'll get to that in a minute, but definitely I include him in a lot of my decks, despite him going up by 1 provisions. Really, really do like Gimpy. Up next, we have another OG Homecoming card, and this card is silly good in the right deck. Silly good. Doppler. Now, if you don't know what Doppler does, choose a unit in your hand, then boost self by the total number of units in your hand which have the same primary category as that unit. What that means is if we just go back here and let's just go to a random card and we go to, let's try and find one that's going to shoot off right. No. Okay, go here. We played, we played Doppler, we chose Cyan. All humans would get a buff. Basically, no, sorry, would be buffed by the amount of human cards we have in our hand. Now, where Doppler gets silly good, at the moment he's been run in a lot of Nilfgaard decks because they are running soldiers, which makes sense. So they're running soldiers. This guy comes up for 10 value against me. He's cost 6p and he's coming up for 10. Like, that is so good. Even if you get him out for 6, even if you only have 5 of the other cards there, he's getting your value back. This card can get so good. Yes, you could have a Peter against him, so you put him back down to 1 value. Yes, you could be running a spores, again setting down to 1 value. People aren't going to want to use a Geralt on a Doppler. They're not going to want to use a Geralt to destroy a 10 cost Doppler. Yes, it might be the only chance to get value in that match, but 90% of the time, people aren't. You play Doppler turn 1, and then even maybe turn 2, round 1. One comes out for 10, one comes out for 9, everyone comes out for 9. Then you're basically putting serious tempo on the board, and they're not going to want to remove it with a Geralt. Like, why would they do that when you've got other engines or other big units they're potentially going to need to save their Geralt for? Doppler is crazy good. This is the one where I said you build a deck around Doppler. You don't throw them into a deck when you have 3 soldiers, you have 3 humans. Like, you can have soldiers that are humans and vice versa. But yeah, you need to remember it is the same primary category as that unit. So do remember that. Soldiers are the best example at the moment. Beasts, I've seen monsters run Doppler with a beasts deck. Yeah, he's a very, very good card in the right deck. Which can take us on to our final card, guys. This card is, at the moment, if I'm being completely honest, auto-include in pretty much every deck. Have I spelled him wrong? C-L-E. There he is. Yes, I spelled him wrong. He's an A. C-L-E-A. Cleaver. Cleaver. Damage a unit by 1 for every card in your hand. Reach 2. Remember the reach, please. So you might go, well, wait a minute. I need to make sure I play this guy with 6 cards left in my hand to get the value back on it. Do not see Cleaver like that. Now, you play this guy round, like turn 2 for some reason. People have a habit at the moment of playing like a big engine, turn 1, and then throwing TA onto it and being like, hey, I've got a card now at 8 power, at 9 power. What are you going to do? Well, I'm just going to play my Cleaver, get rid of your TA, get rid of your engine, and probably win on even now. Idiot. Yeah, even if this guy comes out with, like halfway through the round, 5 cards left in hand, you're getting 5 damage off him. Yes, you're not getting your value back, but you don't look at it like that. Look at the value you're saving against the opponent. For example, they throw down something like an Avalanche, the guy that gives an immunity to another card. He's a 5 cost. Yeah, you're only getting your 8 value off this, but wait a minute, if that means I can now remove whatever card was coming after Avalanche, then wow, I've saved a lot of value. Like, that is, overall, Cleaver has let me save a lot of value. In Scoia'tael decks, you can even boost him with the Dwarfs, play him on Range Road, boost him. I've had him up to a 7 before when he's come out for like 6 damage. It's a huge swing. It's like a 13-point swing off this neutral card. Yeah, I honestly, I put him in pretty much every deck at the moment. I've tried taking him out of some decks, and I just think, like, why? Why am I taking him out? He gives me so much move. I run an Arrakis Queen deck at the moment. And the biggest thing with that deck is it has very limited removal. And it still has very limited removal, but Arrakis Queen isn't designed to have removal. What it does, though, I have Cleaver in there just in case I need to get rid of any big engine round 1 or round 3. Like 4th or 5th turn. Even if I come out for 4, I don't care. Like, if I play him and I do 4 damage because I've got 4 cards left in hand, but I'm clearing an engine of theirs, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm getting rid of it. I'm saving value, especially against Arrakis Queen, where some engines can get stupid crazy out of hand. But yeah, that was 5 cards, guys, that I just kind of 5 neutral cards that I think personally are the best neutrals in the game at the moment. For me, anyway. You might look at that and go, completely disagree with you, Woody. You're an idiot. What on earth are you thinking? As I said at the beginning, these videos are very much based or build towards new players. They're cards that, if you craft those 5 cards, you're going to use them in decks at some point. I pretty much guarantee you that. The weakest one in there is the Gregory Gorgon. Octvist and Gimpy are in so many decks. If you think about, okay, I've only got X amount of scrap, or what do I craft first? Definitely, and you haven't got Cleaver, and you haven't got Octvist, go for those 2 straight away, guys. Like, they are... Cleaver definitely almost auto-include. For me, personally, I pretty much auto-include him in most of my decks at the moment. Octvist is 90% of the time he's thrown into a deck as well. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you find it helpful, then give it a little like. I like to know that people find these videos helpful. I'll just a quick little plug. I am going to be competing or playing in my first Gwent tournament called Crimson Clash 2. It's being hosted by Team Rankstar over on Twitch. The prelim rounds, or the fight for top 8, is this coming weekend, the 15th and 16th of May. So the link to my Twitch channel is in the description below. So please feel free, if you want to come see me play in Crimson Clash 2, my first tournament. I'm currently building some decks at the moment. Then by all means, please do so. Hit the link in the description below. Give us a follow, and then it will let you know when I go live, and that'll be next Saturday and next Sunday, the 15th and 16th of May. But a little plug there, and that's just had to plug it, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, yeah, I have got another deck video coming very soon. I'll be honest, I have a mid-range usurper deck that I'm working on actually for that tournament. I'm not going to show it off yet until after the tournament. It's almost there. And I'm working on a Arrakis Queen deck. I'm probably going to do my Arrakis Queen deck next, purely because I have so many Nilfgaard decks that I always share Nilfgaard decks. They are my favourite faction, but it's nice to stretch out a little bit. But thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. Thanks so much for watching the video. Have a great day, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. And until next video, I'll see you then. Bye, guys.